Just like that.
I think it's watching us.
Think so?
I'm excited about this one.
I am too. They hustled and made it happen.
That's very cool. So now,
We should probably get going.
Yeah. Let's get going. Welcome to the Savor the Burn podcast. My name's Jonathan. Over here is Mr. W2. How do you do?
I'm doing good.
I like it. I like hearing that. I don't want to say I like it because I don't want to get fucking served cease and desist papers from W2 Enterprises. But tonight we are trying this bad boy. Love it or hate it, we have yet to figure that out for ourselves. It's the Traveler whiskey, the Buffalo Trace and Chris Stapleton, kind of mashup. They got together, I'm guessing blended a whiskey, and now it's out there for anybody and everybody to try. And it's been getting some seriously mixed reviews.
Yeah, very mixed reviews. To the point where it seems like people either love it or they hate it.
Yeah. I don't know why. But what else can you tell us about it?
This is a offering from Buffalo Trace, so that goes without saying. It's from Kentucky. Mm-hmm. There is no age statement on this. It is a blended whiskey, so it is not a bourbon. Those that haven't dug into this much, just to clarify, the standard Buffalo Trace offering is a Kentucky straight bourbon. This is not. This is a blended American whiskey, which means that it's not 51% corn or more. It's somewhere in between. Actually, I think, I don't have anything in here on the notes. It may have a high amount of rye in it, maybe. But anyway, it says right here, it's 90 proof. And it says, a master distiller and artist collaboration. There has been whiskey made on the site of the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfort, Kentucky for more than 200 years. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
The first distillery operation that can be continuously traced to Buffalo Trace was started in 1812 by Harrison Blanton. Yes, that Blanton. Mm-hmm. He sold the operation in 1870, and it was renamed the Old Fire Copper Distillery, OFC.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
I've seen OFC quite a bit.
They still do a very, very, very limited release of it. It's a very high dollar release. But
if anybody has a sample of it, please send it to us.
That's right. We can get you the address. And
just send us an email, info@savortheburn.com.
I got a bottle. Does Savor the Burn want it? Yeah, we'd
probably.
Yeah,
I would say yes. Yeah.
It has been bought and sold many times over the intervening decades, but Sazerac has owned the property since 1992. They produce a wide range of bourbons and spirits, including their signature bourbon. Traveler Whiskey is a groundbreaking collaboration between Buffalo Trace Distilleries, master distiller Harlan Wheatley, and 8 times Grammy Award-winning artist Chris Stapleton. Introduces blend number 40, meticulously selected from over 50 blends. This premium expression embodies sophistication and craftsmanship.
Over 50 blends.
Yeah. And so if I did not say, this bottle comes in at, depending on where you get it, $35 to $40. I think we got it for $37 or somewhere in there.
Something.
I've seen it for $30, $32. Now that it's been a little while, if we would have maybe just waited, we could have picked one up at, not everywhere has it yet, but there's a handful of stores in town that have been advertising that they've got it. And it's not priced bad. It's more than the Buffalo Trace standard product, which, like I said, is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. This is an American blended whiskey. But, yeah, I don't know. Let's pour it up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Got a composite cork,
Nice little pop.
which isn't that big of a deal. The regular Buffalo Trace is also a composite cork, so I think. Actually, I'm questioning myself now.
Yeah.
Don't want to misspeak. Yep. Yeah. The standard Buffalo Trace is a composite cork.
Give myself a little more. Perfect. Perfect enough for me. Yeah, I like the composite cork. I like the wood top up here with the CS signature.
It's like a signature, yeah.
It's been kind of etched into the top.
I like the simplicity of
It's super simple.
And also, if you flip it over and look through the bottle, you've got the map that appears on the inside label. And I love when they do that.
Yeah.
All right, that nose doesn't suck.
No. Smells kind of like a sour mash from far away.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's definitely reminiscent of a sour.
Light citrus, maybe some vanilla.
Yep, some vanilla, a little bit of corn, maybe. Not a whole lot, but
like
just a
the
little bit.
Rice spice.
Yep, a little bit of rye in there.
And I don't know, did I already say caramel? Just like a
so.
slight, light touch of caramel. Yeah.
Some fruity notes. The notes we've got here say complex aromas of vanilla, aged fruit, and buttery shortbread, rounded off by caramel and a touch of oak.
I didn't really pick up on the oak, did you?
Just a little bit.
Buttery shortbread.
I can kind of see that.
Got a nice, clean, light color.
Yeah.
It's got enough legs.
Got legs.
90 proof, I would hope it would.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try it.
Let's do it.
How could you hate that? How could you hate that? It's sweet. It's got honey.
That's really sweet.
It's got...
That's super sweet.
Well, there's the oak on the finish.
Yeah.
Did it just say that in your notes here? Finish? Robust finish. Well, that's descriptive.
It says a touch of sweetness. I think it's way more than a touch of sweetness.
And it's smooth.
Followed by spice, toasted nut, and oak flavors. Yeah. Oak is all over that palate. Mm-hmm. It has a little bit of an ethanol to the palate.
Like like an Irish whiskey would.
Like an Irish whiskey or something a little bit higher. You know, something 110 north.
It's got a little bit of burn to it. Still on the palate.
But I am mad at that.
No. I don't know. I don't really have any. I don't have anything negative to say about this. I don't know why. I don't know why there's so much shit talkers out there about this.
Yeah, and you know, and one of the things that just it boggles me because I see a lot of the same people posting, and I think I sent you an Instagram video of a guy that I love all of his stuff, and he does some great reviews. And this one, he pretty much says, I usually only review bourbons that I like.
Yeah.
And then it rolled credits. That was it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. Okay.
Wow, he's saying something without even saying anything.
Yeah. But there are so many bourbons that are way, way worse than this that cost double this.
Right.
I said bourbons, but whiskey in general.
I posted a picture of the bottle in the Kansas City Whiskey Guild because for some reason I've been suspended from the whiskey tribe.
Shame on you.
I don't know what I did.
Troublemaker.
Trouble follows me and opens the door for me. I said, finally trying the Traveler whiskey tonight and doing a side-by-side. We'll talk about that later. I said, anybody tried it? Thoughts? Michael says, Traveler was just plain disappointing to me at the price. So much hype, mediocre bottle. Should have been priced at $25. Paul says, love the Traveler. Paul loves it. So I don't know. He was just upset with it for the price. I don't know. And I didn't really see a whole lot of hype for this. I didn't see any commercials for it. No ads in your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever news feed. I didn't see any ads for it.
I haven't seen any lately, but kind of leading up to the release of it, I had seen a handful of them.
Maybe from Keg and Barrel or Flavier, but not.
Well, I saw a handful from Buffalo Trace themselves.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
As kind of a pre-promo of it, leading up to the release of it.
That's good.
That piqued my interest. That got
good.
me interested in finding it or being on the lookout for it, so that when it became available, we could snag a bottle up.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Buffalo Trace is also kind of hit and miss. There for a while, you couldn't find it anywhere in Kansas City.
Right.
And now you can kind of find it.
But like right
places.
before that, man, it was everywhere. I remember seeing it at Hy-Vee.
It goes through spells where it's everywhere, and then
it's nowhere.
And then when it does show up, you better grab it because it's gonna disappear before you.
Yeah. But then we
hit
watched
the next dial.
hunt videos from Bruzel, right? If you're not familiar with Bruzel, go check him out. Brewzle. He's on. Well, I would guess Instagram, but we watch him on YouTube, and it seems like everywhere he goes, there's Buffalo Trace on the shelf. I'm like, well, I hope that hits here someday.
Right.
Anytime I find it on the shelf, it's behind the counter in their little allocated section, and they've got it's like $5 or $10, more than it should be.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to be regular Buffalo Trace is supposed to be what, $27, $29?
23 to 25.
23 to 25.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, they're selling it for, 43 to 47 or something like that for, this size bottle.
The 750 bottles.
The 750. Yeah.
Well, and what's crazy is, very rare. I've only seen the larger 1.5 bottles, I think maybe once or twice. But usually
I saw it at Hy-Vee.
Usually if you do the math on it, it's actually cheaper to go ahead and just grab yourself a couple of these 750s than it is to get the 1.5. It's the same volume, but for whatever reason, it seems like every time I do see, and online especially, that 1.5 bottle is really jacked up.
Where did we see that 1.5 bottle of Weller Special Reserve? Oh, it was at that gas station in Blue Springs.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, we've done a little hunting ourselves. It's been a lot of fun, especially that whole day. So on the nose, this had plenty to offer. We picked up on 4 or 5 different notes, and then on the palate, some of those notes went away, but it was replaced with this explosion of sweetness, and there was a little bit of heat, that you would expect from a 90 proof, from a 90 proof whiskey, not a 90 proof bourbon. But this is. It's surprising how many bourbon notes it has for being a whiskey.
Yeah.
And look at that color.
The sweetness is way more than I would have expected on just a regular whiskey.
And it's not real thin.
No.
Like Jim Beam White Label. It's 80 proof. It's really thin. We had some at band practice the other night with, among other things. They're like, Steven handed me the bottle. He said, he's like, here, catch up. The rest of that's yours. And I'm looking at the bottom of it like, okay, challenge accepted. Yeah, I was happy with it on the nose. Same with the palate and the finish. The finish is long and lingering, warm. It's still sweet, light oakiness. I really have nothing bad to say about this. And then you come to the bottle. It's super, super simple. I mean, you read the little tag here. It's got plenty of information. 90 proof. I'm guessing it's quoting a song lyric here. It says, "Always lost, nowhere bound." That's from his song "Traveler."
Okay.
So okay.
Which would be.
Are you? Do you listen to Chris Stapleton? Are you a fan?
I don't. No.
You don't? Okay.
No.
All right. Well, you know what? Nothing's for everybody.
No.
Nothing's for everybody. He's got a project he had before he went solo, called the Johnson Brothers. It's more rock than his current stuff. But
is it considered? Is his current stuff considered new country, or is it considered rock?
It's not rock.
Okay.
No, there's too much of that flat steel guitar stuff in there.
Gotcha.
Well, he's Chris Stapleton. He's country, but yeah, he's not. I wouldn't put him in. Like pop country, like Garth or Shania or, Clint Black or whatever. But he's he's super popular because he's an incredible songwriter. I'm surprised you haven't listened to any of it, except for like maybe in passing.
Maybe in passing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Bottle presentation.
Dig what you dig.
I'm not sure. Absolutely. Yeah. I'd like you to try it before you.
Yeah.
Because you may really like it. Just start with the first album and give that a couple of rotations and see what you think. And definitely check out the Johnson Brothers. That album was.
I just noticed the little banding here.
Yeah.
Is kind of that dollar bill kind of a type of patterning.
Which tricks the mind into thinking it's bottled and bond.
Right.
But bottled and bond is going to be a lot more dollar bill looking than that. We got one right
and it'd be green,
don't we?
Probably.
Yeah, we've seen them 100 times.
Whoops.
And I really love the map going on here in the back. Like, I don't know what map it is. Have you looked at it? Lexington? Oh, it's Kentucky.
Yeah, it's Kentucky.
Yeah. Colonel.
It's the Bourbon Trail.
Colonel Booms.
It's probably not the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah.
Because Buffalo Trace is not technically on the Bourbon Trail.
Colonel Maryland's office. It's not?
It's not.
Huh.
In order to be an official distillery on the Bourbon Trail, you have to pay your dues and be a part of that club. And Buffalo Trace, being the 200-year national monument that it is, historic monument that it is, said, "Yeah, people are still going to come and see us. We're good."
Yeah, we don't need your stinking trail. We make our own trail. I forgot my phone's restarting. It wouldn't restart until I unlocked it.
Ah, yes.
Because, whatever. Stupid.
I'm going to get a smidge more.
Yeah. Sorry if I poured it light.
No.
We add all these up, divide those by 2, and we have our final score of...
It's definitely not Garth Brooks night, but the thunder rolls.
We're expecting... have you ever heard of Gorilla Hail before?
No.
Yeah, they're talking about Gorilla Hail. Like, not golf ball, not pea, not quarter, not fucking softball size hail. Gorilla hail.
So I forget who it was, but I saw someone post.
I don't know when we started naming shit after primates, but
I saw someone post on Facebook earlier a golf ball with a chunk of hail, and yeah, it was like that. And they're like, "Yep, here comes the hail." Fuck, like shit.
Yep. So Jennifer, she dropped me off. She took the car. She's gonna go storm chasing. She loves that stuff.
All right.
I'm not about that life. She saw Reed Timmer was in town. That's like one of her she's a fangirl of his stuff.
Okay.
And he's a storm chaser, world renowned. I'm not. I don't get it. On the empty, I got that shortbread.
I thought about that right as I poured the other one. I'm like, I just ruined my empty, but that's all right.
Ruined it. You'll come back to it. Speaking of come back,
I'm getting a little bit of that shortbread.
Even on the palate?
Yeah. But I could see where the empty glass would yield a little bit more. You know what's interesting is, for whatever reason, I need to have her give me a reason. But for whatever reason, Faith and Tim aren't interested in this bottle. But they were interested to hear what we had to say about it. So
do they listen to country?
They do not.
Okay, but they like good bourbon.
They like good bourbon. This
is good.
I wonder if part of it is just the initial feedback that started coming out with it it was all over the place, but there was a lot of just negative, disappointed feedback. Again, complaining about the price point and it, and I don't know. I don't feel like I've become that guy, but a $35-$40 bottle doesn't seem like that big of an investment to me.
We've spent much more on lesser bottles.
Yes.
And this is a decent bottle.
Yeah, I've definitely spent a lot more and given it a way lower rating than I've given this one. So
yeah,
there it is.
Yeah. And speaking of ratings, what'd you give it on the nose?
My nose was 4 1/4.
God bless America. I thought
I started out at 4, and then I'm like, no, the nose is pretty good.
I was all right.
It's so sweet.
I started out at 4, and I thought, no, I'm just being Mr. Me again.
So we went opposite directions.
We went opposite directions. I went 375. I dropped it a quarter to try to, to still my hype a little bit, because I thought I was just going to be doing my regular thing where I'm fucking Mr. Thumbs Up. Everything's awesome. Because, I am a fan of Buffalo Trace. I am a fan of Chris Stapleton.
And I'm a fan of that Lego movie. Because everything is awesome.
Here we go. I did not see that coming.
No?
I did not. Everything is awesome. That's not very rock-taily.
It's not. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, okay. I've seen it. I've seen it a few times. Probably not as many times as you've seen it. Because of Little Man, I'm sure
he's just now starting to get into the Lego movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've watched a couple of them, and he's enjoyed them, and he sat through them all. But he hasn't really gotten into Legos yet. So the whole idea behind Legos just hasn't quite clicked yet. But he's starting to.
That's probably good, especially for you two, because kids leave their Legos all over the floor.
And Legos have gotten so fucking expensive.
Are they really?
Oh, man.
Maybe you can find some at a garage sale or something. And take them home and bleach the shit out of them. And then, because, they go in their ears and their nose. God knows where else, because they're kids. Kids are so gross. How about the palette?
Palette, I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4. It was everything.
Yeah, it delivered.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was going to say it was everything
shortbread
that the nose had. Yeah, now that it's empty, you can pick up on the shortbread. It was like everything that the nose had to offer. Not all of it came through. Some of it was cut out, but what was left over was amplified a bit, which is fine with me. Oh, and the addition of honey. It was like a honey sweetness in there, I almost said like a clover honey, like a good, strong, solid sweetness. And when it came to the finish, it was long, it was lingering. For me, that's where it wasn't a spice heat, but the proof heat was still there. That you would expect from a 90 proof whiskey. So, yep, I really didn't have any complaints there. I gave it a 3.5.
I gave it another 4.
You gave it another 4? See what I mean? I tried to dial it down a little bit because I was trying to not be so fucking fanboy hype over here. Mr. Everything is awesome. How about the bottle presentation? As simple as it is, it does have plenty to offer. It's got 3 paragraphs worth of information and coolness on the back.
So my rating does not reflect how I love the bottle. I love everything about the presentation. I love the simplicity of that front. Is just it's bare bones, simple.
Yeah, that's something our friend Chandler would
it has everything with it, and then
the map.
The map is such a nice subtle touch. Depending on your lighting, you almost miss it.
Yeah,
and then
I totally missed it.
And then the backside of that, you get a little bit of the story, kind of that parchment yellow beige kind of a color, with black ink and then red for whiskey, and then the signatures to make it pop.
Yep.
Thank you, Thirsty Whale.
Thirsty Whale.
Love those.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go to Instagram or TikTok and look them up.
That said, I gave my bottle presentation a 3.75.
3.75. Well, I gave it a 3.5.
Okay.
3.5.
Because it is a standard bottle. There's nothing wow about it. I mean, the Buffalo Trace bottle is actually slightly different.
You still have a little bit of a swell in the neck. It's a bit longer. They're both, like a
It's shoulder. A little bit more. It's just kind of stretched up.
Yeah. Yeah. This is not a good
family show.
But yeah, it's just. I did it again. It's just taller. They just stretched it. This isn't any better. They just took it and stretched it a bit.
That's what she said.
Done. I'm done. Sticker frickin' done. Well, believe my final score came up to 7 3/8. 7.375.
All right. Mine came to 8.
8 even. Wow. So, I think it's safe to say,
it's a solid pour.
When it comes to, get this real quick.
And honestly, a little bit of the rye spice that's in there with that 90 proof, I feel this would be killer in a cocktail.
This would be great in a cocktail. Great in a old fashioned. Great in a Manhattan. What's the Lion?
I think it'd be great as a whiskey sour.
Whiskey sour. Yeah, it's got so much sweetness in there. It's got a little bit of proof.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say when it comes to the Traveler whiskey, don't get hung up on what it is other people have to say about it.
Yeah.
I was starting to get hung up because it seemed like everything I read was negative.
Yeah.
And
I'm so disappointed.
I'm usually not swayed by public opinion because public is public. You know,
Yeah.
we're all sheeple, I guess.
And
Unfortunately, I had to try it for myself, and I'm really glad I did because this is not bad at all. This is really good. I like it.
And I wonder if, are people grumpy that it's a little bit more expensive than the regular Buffalo Trace, or are they not thinking it all the way through and are confusing it with a bourbon, and it doesn't drink fully like a bourbon. I feel like it's got a lot of qualities.
It kind of sort of drinks like a bourbon.
And knowing that this is blended from over 50 barrels,
yeah,
that's a lot. And so
over 50 blends.
Okay, but I'm sure there's bourbon in there, and I'm sure that's what's kind of pushing it in that direction.
Yep.
It's just because it's got so much of a blended to it, you can't really say, yep, that's a bourbon because it's 51% corn. Mm-hmm. It's all over the place. It's going to be all over the place with that level of blending. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think Buffalo Trace Master Distiller, he knows what he's doing.
Dude, he has to. He's been in that job for how long? Like he knows what the fuck he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So if you're looking for a fun whiskey to try that may or may not be within your price range, this was what?
$35?
$35. $35. And you like your whiskey sweet, almost semi-bourbon like, with maybe a touch of a mouth feel like an Irish whiskey will hit you. But I think that's just a whiskey thing. We're so used to, like, at this point in time, we've been drinking bourbon for so long.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
I think
different.
Now that I've thought about it for a second, I feel like this is very reminiscent of the Uncle Nearest.
Uncle Nearest out of New York?
Tennessee.
Tennessee?
That is the Tennessee whiskey.
York? I think you got a bottle of them down here. It's
Probably.
It's the black woman owned New York base bottle. It doesn't
Uncle Nearest is
I thought it was Uncle Nearest.
That's definitely Tennessee though.
I'm probably way off. It's all right. I'll get back in the shot. It's not that important. I don't know why I had to know all of a sudden, but sometimes I forget we're recording. Anyway.
Oh, right.
Right. It's got a little counter and a blinking light and everything.
They're looking at us.
They're looking at us again. I just know it. Oh God. What do I do with my hands? Huh? Hey. Yeah, so I would say this is a great this would be a great whiskey to serve at a party with your friends, your family, any Chris Stapleton fan. It's so sweet. It would go. It's great, neat. Obviously,
that's great by itself.
It's a great candidate for a cocktail. Mm-hmm. We already talked about it. What did you suggest?
I think a whiskey sour.
A whiskey sour would be great. I'm happy with old fashions, with Manhattans. Whiskey sours are good. Yeah, I don't have any complaints on this. And at $35, why complain? Like,
right.
I mean, it's more expensive than Jim Beam, but it tastes
old number 7.
Good old
number 7 is actually more expensive than Jim Beam.
It is, and I don't know why. For the life of me, I don't know why. I'm sure Lemmy had something to do with it. Rest in peace, Lemmy. Anyway, so do you have any final thoughts?
I'm so glad we got a hold of this, and
me too.
I enjoyed this way more than I was anticipating.
Me too.
Just because, like you said, because of all the different negative reviews we saw on it.
Yeah. And it was almost immediate.
It drinks great.
People started getting their bottles, and then they started talking about how disappointed they were.
It's a Buffalo Trace product.
It is.
It's quality.
And they're known for bourbon. And maybe that's maybe there was
that's
a little
the
bit of
thing.
confusion. They were confused, because this is a whiskey. They expect it to drink like a whiskey, but it kind of sort of does. But it's got so much burn on it, because one, it's 90 proof, and two, it's actually whiskey, not bourbon.
Right.
So maybe that's, I don't know. It's hard to say why, tens of people could have such a bad reaction to it. But I dig it. I like it. I had a great time trying it. Hopefully you had a great time watching us try to figure out what it is that we like and don't like about it. And if you've tried it, let us know.
Yeah.
Leave a comment in the comment section. If you like what we're doing, hopefully you do. Click subscribe and hit that little bell notification there underneath the video. And you'll be able to stay up to date on any and all new posts. So until then, keep checking us out on all socials. We got Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We'll see what happens with the United States government and their TikTok ban. Maybe TikTok won't be there for much longer. Who knows? We don't know. Maybe by the time this video comes out, it'll be gone. But anyway, so you can also get a hold of us through email, savortheburn, or info@savortheburn.com, w2@savortheburn.com, and Jonathan@savortheburn.com. Am I forgetting something?
I think that's it.
I guess the only thing left to say is no matter what you're drinking, who you're drinking it with, where you're drinking it, never forget, keep on burning.